Hi everyone, welcome to Vlogmas day 4. It is Saturday the 4th of December and as promised, since this video is going up on Sunday, I said I would try to do more of a sit down style video like the content you guys are used to. So today I'm going to be bringing you my Christmas present budget video. Growing up, I would say my family were always fairly sensible about spending money at Christmas. Not to the point where we were counting the pennies, but it was just reasonable. We never went really mad with it, and I never felt like Christmas was lessened by that because, you know, we always got the presents we asked for. We always had a lovely Christmas meal together and spent time with our family, and it was absolutely lovely. And I think a lot of that has rubbed off on me, and whilst they were very sensible, I think I am even more sort of controlling about Christmas. They never did Christmas on a budget as far as I know. I do Christmas on a budget and I plan for what I want to spend, but also to be even more sort of strict on it, I don't buy those sort of novelty, frivolous gifts, things that I think someone might like but I'm not certain about. I just directly ask people what they want for Christmas and I get them things that I know they want. If they really don't tell me something, I will try super hard to make sure I've bought them a very useful and practical item that I know they'll love and use. That way I don't feel like I'm generating any waste or giving gifts to people that they're actually not going to get that much joy out of. So I'll go from the top. I'll sort of explain how as a couple, me and my husband, we budget for Christmas and the sort of figures that we spend on different people in our family. So first of all, if you've seen any of my videos about saving money, my husband and I arrange our money in a particular way. So we each have our own individual bank accounts where our wages come into from our jobs, and then we also have a joint account that all of our bills and our mortgage come out of every month, and each month we put money from our individual accounts into a joint account to cover the cost of all our bills, and we put the same amount in, which works well for us because we roughly earn the same amount of money anyway. The amount we put into that account covers a little more than what our bills require, so over the course of the year that starts to build up a little savings in itself, and that's useful for spending on things for the house if we need any replacements, repairs, and also things like Christmas gifts. So all of our gifts, with the exception of our gifts to each other, come out of the joint account, and then the only time we spend from our individual accounts are our gifts for each other. My husband is definitely the person I spend the most money on at Christmas, but that's because as a couple we've kind of decided that will be our opportunity to treat each other. So generally speaking, we will spend between £100 and £200 on each other at Christmas. That may sound like a lot to some people, particularly people that are aiming to save money. But a bit of context towards that is that we don't treat each other throughout the rest of the year. Neither of us will go out and sort of buy little gifts to surprise each other or just to sort of treat each other or to say thank you to each other. We don't really show our appreciation through gifts to each other. Even Valentine's Day and anniversaries, we don't buy gifts for each other. We do cards, but not gifts. So our birthdays and Christmas are sort of two opportunities throughout the year where we buy each other gifts, and it's a nice opportunity to treat each other, and we sort of consider it as the money that we may have spent throughout the year, if we did get little treats for each other, adds up to this larger amount. And because you have that sort of slightly larger amount of money to spend on a Christmas gift, and generally we will just ask each other what we want, we won't surprise each other, then you have that chance to get something that maybe you've put off buying for yourself because it's a little bit more expensive. So that's definitely my most expensive present I will buy at Christmas, and that is for my husband and vice versa, him to myself. The next highest would be my parents, and I generally like to spend in the region, and this is quite flexible, between £50 and £70 on my parents. It really just depends what they would like. If their gift that they would like is a little bit more expensive, I will go towards the higher end of that budget bracket, and if not, I won't feel like I've got to top it up to that higher amount. If it comes in at around the £50 mark, then that's absolutely fine. I do like to use gifting at Christmas again as a way to show my appreciation to my parents, because they do so much for us, and they literally live around the corner from us, and they help us and support us so much. And again, like with my husband, I don't really buy them small gifts throughout the year, so I use Christmas as a way to really show my appreciation to them, and I get them something that I know they want, that they've told me they want, and that they probably again wouldn't buy for themselves because they probably wouldn't spend £50 to £70 on something for themselves anyway. My parents are very good when it comes to money, and my mum especially, she will not treat herself. So I don't mind spending a little bit more on them than I do, let's say, for the rest of my family, because I really want to show my appreciation to them. Next comes a lot of family members roughly in the same price bracket. So that would be our siblings and their partners. I have a sister and my husband has 2 brothers, and they each have a partner. So that would be 6 of them. And my sister has now just had a baby, so that would make 7 of them. We spend roughly about £30 on each of them, or if we're getting more of a couple's present, probably £50 per couple. And again, they are all very practical people when it comes to gift giving. I feel like we just see it as very direct, and we always ask each other, what do you want for Christmas? And then we go and get it. And you know, there's no surprises at Christmas. None of us are really people that go out and look for little novelty things or knickknacks or little treats that we think that person might like. We are direct and straightforward with it, and we just get each other what we want, and it's as straightforward as that. So they're all in the region of about £30 each. Likewise are my husband's parents, and each of those have their own partner. They are no longer together. Then I would say my granddad and nan, so that's another 7. Again, roughly at about the £30 price bracket. And I think that's a reasonable amount of money. You can get a nice present with that amount, but at the same time, you know, you're not going really mad with it. And then really all that leaves are the smaller presents that I get. So I have my main group of friends. We always do Secret Santa, and we only budget £10 to £15 for that each year. We don't really go mad with it, and it's always lovely. We always meet up, do something festive, and exchange Secret Santa presents. I've then got another friend who is my oldest friend. I've known her since I was at school. I generally spend about £20 on her. And then there are just a few other family members, aunties and uncles, cousins, things like that, where I just buy them a box of biscuits or chocolates. So they're usually around the £4 to £5 mark each. The only thing I'm a bit lost on this year are people at work. I lead a team, and I've got quite a big team, and so I do like to get them something small just to show my appreciation. I did little travel mugs last year, which were great because then everyone was using them. I could see them in action around work. But then beyond my own team, there are so many lovely people at my workplace that help me out all the time, and I also like to show my appreciation to them, and it gets really big. So I've got to come up with a better game plan this year to make sure I am budgeting and sensible with my money there. And then the last thing to talk about really is wrapping, and I've got a few little examples of the very small selection of presents I've already wrapped. So I keep my wrapping very basic. I don't go out and buy lots of different fancy gift bags or anything. For the last 4 or 5 years, I've done my Christmas wrapping in brown paper. I would rather use a brown paper because I don't really like how it looks, to be honest. I think it's gorgeous. But generally speaking, it is cheaper, I've found, than buying some of your more high-end fancy rolls of wrapping paper, and you generally get so much of it on a roll. I find if you use brown paper, even one with a pattern on, this one's got little Christmas trees and little cars on it, it's easier to match with tags or bows or ribbon and things if you want to. I personally am not using ribbon this year. I've got a few bows, and I've gone for sticker labels for tags rather than actual physical tags, I guess. And that has made my wrapping so much easier and so much speedier. And honestly, I like the minimal look of a present. Don't get me wrong, I love it when people do big, beautiful presents, but personally, that's not me. So I've gone very simplistic, as you can see, with my wrapping this year. And when I think about it, if I include all of the wrapping things I've bought this year, if we do wrapping paper, bows, the sticky labels, even down to buying a new roll of sellotape, I've probably spent about £15 on all of my wrapping stuff. And I've probably also spent about £15 on Christmas cards. I buy boxes of Christmas cards for the majority of people, but then my husband, parents, our siblings and grandparents, they get one of the ones that's got like Gran and Grandad on, like the names on. But my husband and I were actually having a conversation about this just before Christmas about whether we would do cards anymore. As I mentioned earlier in the video, things like Valentine's Day and our anniversaries, we don't do gifts, we just do cards. But whether we're reaching a point now where we can just say, you know, we don't even need to give a card. It's lovely, it's very nice to do, but it's just another thing, isn't it? It's another thing to have, and then There's the whole sentimental thing. Do you keep it? Do you get rid of it? So we're actually thinking about that. We've got each other cards for this Christmas, but maybe in the new year we will step away from that. Oh, now you put me off my stride and I was nearly done.
So that's everything. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow.
Thanks. Can you come down and finish the video for me? So that's everything. We will wrap this one up. I will put a total amount budgeted for Christmas right here on the screen somewhere, and we will leave that one here. Thank you for joining me for Vlogmas Day 4, and I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye.